stop, like, because it's one of those kind of like ones to stop it from falling over.
Shoe?
So yeah, it like balances the mic out. We're really professional on the podcast. Okay, are we rolling? Are we ready?
Ready
Cool.
to rock and roll?
I'm gonna do my intro now. Okay. So are
That's
you ready?
fine.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
So basically what's going to happen is I'm going to talk and you're just going to be awkwardly sitting here while I talk about you. Is that okay?
I'll be judging silently
Yeah,
from the side. Okay.
perfect. So hello everybody and welcome back to my podcast, Esme's Country Life. Today we have a special guest. We have Kate Lewis, that you might know better as Blob or Blob the Cob as her username on social media.
Hello.
So yes, I was just saying in the intro, I'm going to awkwardly talk about her now. So you guys, if you don't know who she is, can find out more. Also, just realised you are the first person that we've had on the podcast actually in the studio
I've come
for
all
an
the
interview.
way to the studio.
Yeah, all the way from Yorkshire.
Yeah.
So thank you for coming. Apart from actually my brother, he's been interviewed on the podcast, but
okay.
like
Second's fine.
Second's
fine.
Yeah, he lives here, so that doesn't really count. So you're the first non-Higgs. So
Hey,
welcome.
Thank you very much.
So yeah, if you don't know who Kate is, she is one of the, I was gonna say OG or like original kind of equestrian content creators from back in the day, so far back that I actually watched her YouTube videos and was a fan. I was a fan of her before I made my own content. So we're proper dinosaurs here sitting on this sofa, it feels like. But yes, before we begin, we're gonna have to do the podcast. It is sponsored by the incredible Red Post, so I'm gonna have to do my spiel now while you awkwardly sit here.
I will sit and silently judge again. For the
perfect, thank you. So, just want to say a huge thank you to the sponsor of the podcast, Red Post. Red Post is an equestrian and country store based in the UK, and they also ship all over the world. And I know because it's summer now, everyone's off for school, that there's going to be a lot of pony camps happening, lots of shows, competing, that kind of thing. And do you know what you need to do? You need to stock up on your grooming supplies. So fly spray, shampoo, hoof oil, those things, they run out quick. And do you know where you can get them? Red Post Equestrian. So be sure to go and check it out at redpostequestrian.co.uk. Anyway, let's get into today's podcast episode. So first off, Kate, let's just talk about how you got into horses, your kind of riding journey. We're going to go straight from the beginning.
All from the beginning. So I was like 3 when I got into horses, but I didn't stay in horses for long because the local riding school I went to was not the best. So I was riding around one day. I loved horses. I was obsessed. And the pony then got down and tried to roll on me.
Oh my gosh.
And my mum had a breakdown and thought I was going to die. So she like jumped the barrier into the arena, and the instructor wasn't even looking. She was on her phone facing the other way. So yeah, it was a whole thing. And then my mum was like, you can't ride anymore, that's it. So then for years I'd begged and begged and begged. I wanted to go riding, and it was only when I was about 9 that I finally went back.
Wow, that's a lot of years of begging.
Yeah, a lot of years of begging. But in the end it was my school that brought my parents in, because you know, like creative writing in school.
Yeah.
So they had like called my parents in because I'd written, I don't remember doing this, but apparently I'd written like some creative writing thing about how much my parents had like crushed my dreams. And
gosh.
How I wasn't allowed to do the thing that I loved the most, so that my life sucked and stuff. And they were like, I really think that you should let your daughter do
stuff
thing.
with horses. Yeah.
So that was when I went back.
Well, I also started in a riding school, but I was very, very lucky that the local riding school that I went to was excellent. So
that's good.
We've got some bad and some good,
some bad and good.
But that's with everything. There's bad and good and everything. But
exactly.
Anyway, continue. Tell me what happened next. So you got into horses.
Yeah. Then I got Dreamer.
Oh my gosh.
You know Dreamer.
Yes.
You've ridden Dreamer. So I got him when I was 11. So I was when I got Dreamer. Before I went to try him, I still didn't know how to tack up a horse.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and I genuinely thought that the people I was going to like try him with were gonna make me. It was gonna be like an exam.
Oh my
goodness. Because I'd never tried a horse before. Yeah. So I thought that like I was gonna get there and they were gonna be like, well, you can ride him, but if you can't tack him up, you can't have him. So I was like frantically trying to learn how to put a bridle on the day before we went to try him. So
like Googling.
Literally.
See, you could now go on YouTube, watch my how to tack up a horse videos.
Yeah.
That's self-promo.
But like, it was crazy. And I remember like him like almost like he was just fast cantering down one side of the arena, but it felt so freeing after riding a riding school horse.
Yeah,
like, the fact a horse was like moving,
so
I was like,
different.
Like, and they were like, you don't have to go so fast. I was like, I do.
Yeah. That's when the monster was created. The speed.
Yeah, the speed diva. That from that day forward, it was no going back.
Yeah. Oh, amazing. So yeah, I actually, we were saying kind of previously that I have ridden Dreamer back in the day. So yeah, I actually, I think was it the first time I ever met you actually was when I went to your house, which I feel like is quite a wild thing. Like that is not a very normal thing to do. But like we've been chatting online for so many years. If you couldn't tell, we get along very well. But
exactly.
so yeah, I came up to your house back in 2020. It was in that kind of like summer where we were like social distancing, but we're allowed to kind of like be outside together. Yeah, we're just like awkwardly like
6 feet apart.
Yeah, like
this is the first time we've been close.
Yeah, I mean like there's been a few times at like horse shows I think where we've like bumped into each other.
We've hugged,
but like properly before, like having a day together where we aren't 2 meters apart.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah.
No, wild times how things have changed. But yeah, I did a video and it was a day in the life of Blob the Cob. And I always, this is so bad, I always forget that your name's Kate because in my mind you're just Blob.
Yeah.
So can we hear about the story behind why you're called Blob the Cob?
Yeah, so Blob the Cob was supposed to be Blob the Cob.
Yeah.
But the L ended up in there by mistake, by typo. My friend Becky and we made it. And neither of us knew how to change it. It was like OG YouTube. It was the beginning of time. We had no idea how to edit anything. So we were like, well, I guess it's Blob the Cob now, and that'll just have to be our username. But we had no idea it was going to go anywhere.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
you know, why would you think that it was going to be successful? But, you know, yeah.
So what sort of year was this? Did you create your channel?
2013, but I'd had channels before then that are really embarrassing. I think it's Dreamer, and then my birthday, so I think it's Dreamer 110499.
Amazing.
And there's videos of me like dramatically jumping on foot to Heart of Courage, that song that every like OG YouTuber used back in the day. That was there's a few videos of me jumping on foot on there. So yeah, I'd have been into hobby horsing now. I look at hobby horsing and I'm like, you know, some of it's a bit cringy and stuff, but that would have been me. That would absolutely.
That was me, but I just did it without the hobby horse. Like me and my friends would jump over like little jumps we made in the woods and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, we'd have been on like the hobby horsing Great Britain team.
Yes, definitely.
Team GB hobby horsing. It's the closest we're ever getting to the Olympics.
Yeah,
honestly.
True. So yeah, tell everyone a little bit more about what kind of like OG YouTube was like back in the day, because I kind of started more 2015 was when I posted like a few videos, and then 2016 for me was the year where I regularly was posting like once a week.
You were
because
like slightly further
I was a little bit behind you guys because you're actually filming a documentary at the moment with all of the kind of equestrian YouTubers from the 2010s.
We are
like
traveling the
ago.
UK and France to see
my
Lauren.
gosh.
Yeah. So we are going around and we're talking to all of the OG YouTubers and equine content creators from the time, because we've got a few non-YouTubey ones really. But yeah, it's been so nostalgic, like so nostalgic. We've been talking about it while I've been here.
Yeah, we have.
It's crazy nostalgic. But yeah, like YouTube back then, it was so different because it was edits. It was literally just edits to songs and audios. We used to strip audios from popular TV shows and stuff, break them down into bits that made sense for horses and things. Like I could recite so many audios. Like
I guess that's kind of similar today with like on TikTok. There's a lot of audios that kind of like go around and that, so it's kind of come like full circle. But I would say back in the day it was very different. Like this was before kind of like vlogging was really a thing, I want to say.
Vlogging wasn't a thing. Even the mainstream YouTubers like Josa, Casper Lee, all of them, they were still making videos where you were like sat on the end of your bed and like doing pranks and stuff like that. And then they kind of shifted into vlogging. And I think that was when the equine community kind of also
started doing stuff like that. Because do you remember like 5-minute crafts and all that kind of stuff, like back in the day?
Not 5-minute crafts.
Yeah.
I remember Jenna Marbles.
Yes.
Remember Jenna Marbles?
Yeah.
I remember her making the jean chair from 5-minute crafts. And she literally went out and got like so much stuffing, and it took her like 3 days or something to make this awful jean chair, and it was stapled together. And she was like sat on it with staples up her backside. Like it was awful.
Because something that I kind of like I didn't realize this at the time, but back in the day YouTube, they were really pushing videos, I think around 2016, which were like tutorials, like how to do this, how to do that. So when I did like a video like how to tack up a horse, that I think is one of the reasons why it got into the algorithm somehow. So it's like, kind of wild how
it's crazy crazy. We've kind of spoken about it a bit, but like you kind of went down, like you started something that none of the equine community had done before, like, and it was so, like, in a way so simple, but like so many people wanted to see stuff like that.
Yeah.
We kind of all just assume like you as well, like obviously we all know how to like tack up and groom horses and stuff, but back in the day we didn't, and like having someone there that was posting videos like that is so helpful
I guess
fascinating.
I came from a completely non-horsey family, and I thought, oh, you know, if this helps like one person, then, you know, and I just had so much fun making videos. And I think back then it was just like a very different time, in the sense where we were all posting these videos of us and our horses, kind of like as a video diary, something to look back on, something to have fun with. And I think the thing that's so nice is that when we all started, we never thought it would become like a career, never thought it would become anything, because obviously like you had your Zoellas and PewDiePies that were at the top of their game, and you could kind of see like, yes, they were making a career out of it, but none of us ever thought like horses there'd be enough people who enjoyed horse content to ever make it.
Out her calendar, and
yeah,
it all went downhill from there.
Everyone's got a story.
You can't mention Zoella without mentioning the
calendar.
But yeah, like it's just changed so much.
It has.
It's wild. Like the content, like it has shifted so much in the main YouTuber space as well.
Definitely, like
really
everything's
has.
kind of been Mr. Beastified, where everything has to be a challenge and everything has to be bigger and better and kind of almost more dramatic, when at the end of the day you can only do that so much. And I think when you're, you know, working with horses, working with animals,
like,
you need to put the animal first.
Film with the Mr. Beast video, and then he cancelled at the last minute. I was like, damn it! I thought I could win about £1 million, and then I was like, oh, Esme's on my way home, so I'll just pop in.
Second best. So since I've last seen Kate, you are now a mother. I want to hear everything about motherhood, about what it was like having the horses while being pregnant, and then having time off riding, because I find that so fascinating. And I feel like not many people on social media really like talk about that. So if you're comfortable talking about it, I would love to hear like your story.
Yeah. So being pregnant, I first had like a full-on plan for the horses. I was like, I'm gonna ride them until this exact point, and then I will get someone in. I'll get a friend to ride them, and then maybe they have a couple of weeks off here and whatever, and then someone brings them back into work for me, and then I'm ready to just go out and compete again. It was not like that at all. Like, just not by like on purpose, but it just kind of fell into the because my son has a heart condition. I found out about that around halfway through my pregnancy. So around then, I was kind of too scared to ride then, because it was like it sounds silly because like, I mean, you have medical experience in your family, so you probably know, but I thought like, oh, if I get my heart rate up riding, will that affect his heart rate, and like, will that affect things for him, like, is his heart, like, has he got a problem where it like will affect him as he's growing and stuff like that. So I was too paranoid to ride then, but like the horses, they just, I think so many people become like hyper fixated on the horses have to be in work, they have to be doing this, that and the other, they have to be fit, or like they're somehow failing them if they're not in work and stuff. But horses have been living for hundreds of thousands of years, just like on hills and in fields and things. Like, they are quite happy to be left for like 9 months in a field not doing anything, and to be honest, the break does them a lot of good.
I was gonna say, I always find I like to give my horses a bit of a winter break, and I find they come back so much better, and at the end of the day they're not machines, they need to have their time of just being a horse and chilling.
Absolutely.
So I think that's really lovely to hear and really refreshing to hear as well. So
I did ride a couple of times in later pregnancy. I rode Neen a couple of times because I so his dad's just laughing behind the camera. Nero is trustworthy. He's trustworthy. But yeah, I also, the dumbest thing I did was I got on Minnie, who is my like super safe, she was a riding school pony, and she was down, we've like rejigged the fields this year, which you'll see next time you're at mine, but like we had like a track going around the outside, and Minnie had managed to go like through a gap in the fence and then all the way around the track, and it was like middle of winter. I was about 7.5, 8 months pregnant at this point. I was 33 weeks. That was what I was. And she needed help finding her way back to where I'd put all the hay and everything. So I walked across and I was like, "Oh, Minnie, are you gonna give Mum a lift?" And I jumped on from the fence, and Minnie, who never like moved, she's like a slug, literally turned the corner onto the track and went pff, and I was like, oh no, this is bad. And I was like hanging on for dear life, and she's like skidding around, and I jumped off and I was like, yep, no, that's it, I'm done. It's like, I was lucky to survive this, that's fine. But yeah, your balance, like my balance wasn't too bad when I was riding when I was pregnant, but you definitely notice you're a little bit more like your core isn't quite as there. So like you have to consider that with your balance as well. Like I never got on any of the youngsters. Like Minnie was supposed to be safe. She's not. But yeah, like it was you had to be careful. Like so like I think if I was to go through pregnancy again, I probably just I'd ride probably for the first trimester like I did last time, but then I'd probably just leave it, or like just stick to like a very safe happy hacker type like Nero. But yeah, and then like getting the horses back into work after was easy as anything.
Really?
So I really overthought that part of it. But yeah, like, and now being pregnant with the horses, my horses lived out 24/7.
Yes,
so that
makes
was easier.
So much easier.
And I have a couple of like part-time members of staff who just pop in for a couple of hours here and there, like a couple of days a week. So that was helpful as well in the winter. And we literally just started, like, we were handballing the hay to start with out in the field, and then we got to a point where we were like, this is hard. Like, my dad has like a really arthritic knee. He's waiting for a knee replacement. So like he'd been helping me, and he was like, oh, I can't do it anymore. And I was like, I can do it. Like 9 months pregnant, I like waddled out into the field with loads of hay. And I've got like my herd of 6 who were like, we want hay, and they're like trying to bull me over. Skippy did knock me over once. He felt awful as well. Like he was literally looking at, like he spun, because Harriet is the leader of that herd, and you know Harry. She's Harry, let's just put it that way. And she like went for him. And so he just moved out of the way and didn't see me, and just like kind of just knocked me over.
Oh,
and I just landed in like a pile of hay, and he just looked at me like, oh my God, Mum, I'm so sorry. Like he was so upset, bless him.
Stop landing in the hay.
It was fine. Like I knew I was fine. But yeah, that was when we were like, this is getting tough, like mud in the winter as well. Like skidding around
I cannot imagine.
It was
I mean,
tough.
like, it's hard enough looking after horses in the winter, not pregnant, so being pregnant as well, I cannot imagine.
Just the extra icing on the cake. So then we started just literally getting a round bale, unwrapping everything off it, and then just driving it out the tractor in the field and putting like 3 round bales out in the field. So it was like 2 horses per bale, and they were all happy as Larry. So yeah, that's kind of, and we've just continued doing that now because it's so easy and it works so well, and like, you know, low maintenance, brilliant, really handy. And the horses living out now is also great, like now that I have my baby, because like on a morning, I think horses can become a bit too reliant on like a specific routine. Like if you're not there at a certain time, they're like, oh my God, where are they?
That is literally Joey.
Yeah. So like I couldn't have mine being like that, because like if my son needed anything on a morning that was going to take a while, like I couldn't have them suffering from it. So them living out is perfect, because you know, it doesn't really matter what time of day you do things, you know, so it's fine. They've got automatic drinkers, and they've got their ad-lib haylage bales, so they're living their best life.
Oh, that's
even
so
Nero, he'll live outside now.
Oh,
like, he has access to a stable, which he does go in when it rains. He is a wuss.
Oh, that's Casper as well. Casper, you'd think Connemara, Irish. No,
must be tough.
Hates the rain. Hates the rain. But what was it like getting back in the saddle kind of postpartum?
Oh, scary.
Yeah.
Scary. Like, excited. Like, as soon as I'd had my baby, I wanted to get back on a horse.
Yeah.
That was like, not immediately, obviously.
Yes.
Like, mentally, I was there. Physically, I was like, no.
No. Need some time to recover.
Yeah. But yeah, it wasn't what I thought. Like, I first jumped on Nero, like, just, you know, bareback, like, because Nero doesn't even have a saddle anymore. Like, I had it all to fit one of the other horses, so I was like, I'll just get on Neen. So I like had him stood at the side of the fence, and I kind of thought I would ache, like in like terms, like
I think people could use their imagination.
I thought that would be like the areas that hurt, but it wasn't. It was literally just like when you haven't ridden in ages,
really,
and like it's all like your thighs and like core and stuff. Like, but like it was painful. Like I jumped on, my thighs were like. Like, but like I was like, I should have stretched before I did this.
I mean,
like
you were doing basically bareback, no stirrups. Like no stirrup work just for me. Like the next day, I'm like, oh, I can feel it. So,
but it came back quickly though. Within, I think like day 4 of me getting on.
Wait, only
Nero...
days? I thought you were gonna say like,
oh yeah,
like
no, day 4. I was in the arena. Nero was like launch booking around. I got videos of you like just like
oh my
launch
gosh,
booking around with Neen because I was determined. Like I got very in my head about it of like, oh my god, what if I'm not gonna be the same person that I was before I had a baby? I was like almost trying to prove to myself that I could do it. So maybe I pushed myself a bit quick, but I just wanted to get back to my full strength as quick as possible. And you still have like
that muscle kind of memory.
Yeah, you still have excess weight on as well after pregnancy and things. So like I felt different in my body. Like my balance was still different. Like first time I rode Harriet, I remember posting on Instagram and I was like, oh, I look terrible in these videos. I look back at the videos and I'm like, it honestly wasn't that bad. But I felt so out of balance and so uncoordinated and like I didn't know what I was doing at all. So yeah, it's different after pregnancy, but I feel normal now. And that's nice because it's like me +1 and back to my normal self.
Well, I feel like we need to talk about Nero because we've talked, like we've mentioned him a lot. And for people who don't know who he is, give us his backstory and everything because I feel like he's got such an incredible story.
He does. Like Nero, you write books. Can you write a Nero book? You have to write a Nero book. Like, he'd make a great book. So Nero actually started his journey off at the side of the road. He was a gypsy cob, so he was with the travellers, and he just had the side of the road. And then his first owner, so he's had like 4 after the travellers, like they bought him off the side of the road and kind of realised that he could jump and that he had some talent.
Oh wow.
But he was literally just watching the old videos of him, like he's always booked. It's always been him.
Yeah.
But like he had like he was just a ball of fluff basically. And he looks so different. He looks a lot heavier set as well.
Yeah.
I don't know whether you've seen like the original Nero videos.
Yeah. All those edits.
You were a Nero fan.
Oh,
she was committed.
What can I say?
But yeah, like he started there, and then gradually with each owner he did more and more and more towards the show jumping. And then Natalie, who had him, well, I met him when Sophie had him, which I think, did you know him when Sophie had him?
I feel like I might have seen some of the old videos, but I only found out about him through you.
Through me,
I want to say.
Yeah. Well, Sophie was when I found him on YouTube, so that was when he became kind of like YouTube famous.
Yeah.
So we used to watch videos of him. I was like a little bit bullied in school, so I never used to like eat with the other people in school. So I used to eat in like the school changing room on my own, and I just watched videos of Nero like, oh my god, he's so amazing. I was a fangirl big time. And then he came up for sale. This was when I had Dreamer, and I really wanted to buy Nero, and my parents were like, you're not ready, and my friend was like, you are not ready. Like, I had Dreamer to Nero. That's not a transition.
That's not a leap, that's a canyon.
Yeah. It really is. But I was like, I could do it. I was like, I could do this.
Yeah.
I could do this. But no, then Natalie bought him, so I was devastated. I was like, oh, this girl, like, she's stolen my pony. Like, she didn't even know me. I'm really close with Nat now, so she won't get me. So yeah. And then, I followed him for years with Nat. And then I got Bob at the same sort of, just after she got Nero, I got Bob. So Bob was a far better transition transition pony, I should say, because Dreamer really didn't like jumping. So I hadn't been used to sitting on something that actually wanted to jump. Yeah. I thought Sophie Ball was like a magician because I was like, I thought all horses were like Dreamer. I was like, how does she jump like 120 when I can't get Dreamer over this cross pole? Like, you know, like, how is this a thing? But then obviously I got Bob and I realised, oh, there are some horses that don't like jumping and some horses that do. Yeah. And Bob was like towing me into the fences and stuff, which is a nice feeling. Yeah. So I had Bob and I started doing like BS on Bob and it's British show jumping. And we built our way slowly up the levels and stuff. So Bob had never jumped BS before. He jumped up to like 90 or a meter or something, unaffiliated, which unaffiliated shows they tend to build a bit nicer as well. Like, you're like, oh, I jumped to 90 unaffiliated, and then you go out to an affiliated British novice and you're like
the technicality of it, it's just chunkier.
The Oxers are all chunky. Yeah. So that was kind of what we found when we went out, but we started doing good at that. 110 was like Bob's perfect height.
Yeah.
In the end, 120, like he could do, but he was really short strided. He had like the stride of like a 12-2 pony. So like in every combination I was like galloping for my life, like trying to get out, and he'd put like 2 in 1s and 3 in 2s and stuff, like, so it really depended on what combination you got as to whether he was getting out the other side or not. But yeah, like, and the whole time I was following Nero, and I was stalking poor Natalie.
So with Bob, you went from what height to what height? Because I feel like you guys...
I went from my first... See, I was a cocky child.
Okay.
I was awful. So when I got Bob, I thought I was the bee's knees. I was like, this pony and me, we jump like Mia now. You know, it's getting serious. So my first show with Bob, I actually did 3 classes, which I would never do in a million years now.
Yeah.
But I did the 90 meter and 110 at my first show. Bearing in mind, this is a girl who had been like eliminated in every 60 centimeters she'd ever done, and I was like, I'm ready, get me out there.
Oh my gosh.
And by some fluke, we went clear in the 110 and came second.
Oh my gosh.
I still have the video somewhere, and I watch it back and I'm like, I will show you later. You can react to it.
Perfect.
It was horrific. Like, I'm literally just a sack of potatoes, but you could just tell, you can see the look on that little girl's face.
You've got the passion, the ambition.
No, not even the passion. She just thinks she's the best.
Okay.
Like, she thinks
the
she's
arrogance.
Like, she's John Whittaker, but a girl. Like,
Okay.
she's so cocky. She was just riding around like, I own this ring, and everyone was watching her like, you can't ride, mate. Like, you need to sit up and actually put your leg on and do something. I was just like, Bob will do it for me. It's fine. But yeah, so that was me, and then my cockiness was swiftly ended when I decided that this is the day I learned that striding was a thing. Yeah. And like that was kind of important when you were jumping. So they put up like a really, I think this was like our second or third show, they put up like a meaty like meter oxer in the warm-up ring at Bishop Burton. And I have that on video as well. And I came into it and just with no striding at all. You can see me coming into it, literally just sat there doing nothing.
Oh my gosh.
And Bob paddled it, went down, did a rotational, and I broke my collarbone. So
goodness me.
That was that. I remember my friend running across, and I was like, oh, they're coming to see if I'm okay. And they were like, Bob, oh my God. And Bob was covered in sand. Like, Bob was absolutely fine, but covered in sand, and so upset that he was covered in sand.
Yeah.
Like, he was like shaking, like, oh my God. I've got sand all over my nicely groomed fur.
Oh
like,
my God.
He was so emotional. But yeah, then I only realised when my dad was trying to get my body protector off, my shoulder was not.
Well, it's a good thing you had a body protector on. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Do you want to see the broken shoulder?
Do you have like a picture?
I have no.
Oh, like it's still. Oh yeah.
So my collarbone is in. Sorry, my collarbone is in 2 bits like that. So it's got like a little bump. So
see,
yeah.
I have a broken rib, and if you feel it on like a certain angle, you can feel a little lump there.
It's a weird podcast. And we're just
we're just like
prodding one another, like whoa.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, after that I decided striding was important. I lost a bit of confidence, built that back up again. But yeah, this whole time I was stalking Nero, to the extent where it got real creepy. Like when I was at Arena UK, and I knew it was Natalie's birthday coming up because I stalked her on Facebook, and obviously, you know, she was like,
oh my
I
gosh,
knew it was her birthday
Kate.
coming. So I bought her an engraved Dark Emperor bracelet. And I sat on the stand in front of her. She didn't know who I was. Yeah. And I sat on the stand in front of her, like 2 rows in front. And she had a crazy dog with her, which promptly jumped off the side of the stands and tried to hang itself off the side. And she had to, like, reel it back in. And I was there like, oh, I have to choose the right moment for this. And I just kind of turned around and went, excuse me. And then just, like, handed her this bracelet. And then just turned around, like...
So you were a random child.
Yeah, I was a full random child
that got this bracelet,
gifted it this really meaningful gift, and then
with
left.
somebody's horse's show name on, and just gave it.
Yeah.
And this is early days of the internet, so she.
We're friends now. This is weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, you know, and like we used to walk around the showground, and like my dad, me and my friend Carrie, we were obsessed with Nat, both of us, because we both loved Nero. So we'd walk around the showground, and my dad would be like just behind us, and we'd be like, oh my God. And Dad would be like, I'm going to go say hi to her for you. We'd be like, oh my God, no, you can't do that, no. Like, she was like a full-on celebrity to us. Poor Nat was just Nat.
So like how many subscribers did you have on YouTube when you were watching her then? Like what sort of numbers are we talking?
I couple of thousand at this point. And then I gradually, my follower base with Bob got to, I think, just under 10K. That was like the Bob era.
Yeah.
Then obviously Nero came. I remember very vividly, I was sat on the wall. Have you ever been to Wales? Like Cricklands?
No.
Oh my God. The David Broome Centre. So they have like a wall in front of their offices where it like overlooks all the arenas. So you like, everyone just perches on there. And Nat had her like little group of, obviously looking back, they were probably just people who were obsessed with Nero as well. Who were just like, oh my God, I'm going to be friends with this kid. So I was like perched with my friend Carrie at the edge of this group. And we were like taking selfies with ourselves, like, you know, just being like, oh my God, we're in the group. Like, we weren't in the group. We were literally just hanging out at the side. And then everyone just randomly went, everyone just want drinks and like ice cream and stuff. So everyone just got up and left, apart from me and Nat. It was just me and Nat left. And I didn't know she knew who I was. And she got speaking about like Bob and stuff. And like, she obviously started following. She probably got the bracelet and was like, oh my God, I'm gonna have to see who this girl is. Like, this is weird. Like, just check everything's good here. But yeah, we were sat there. And she was having to sell Nero. This was in 2014. So this was the year he was being ridden by another girl. He was for sale though, actively. And I remember saying to her like, "Oh, you rode him so well. Like I couldn't ride him." She was like, "No, I think you'd be good on Nero."
I bet
and,
for you then that was like the biggest compliment.
Yeah. Oh my God, yeah. And like 2 months later, and they're trying Nero.
Oh my gosh,
and it's insane.
That is wild that you've gone from watching somebody on YouTube to then buying their horse.
It's crazy. Yeah, it is crazy. Like he was the ultimate, like the dream.
Yeah.
So like I went to try him and I was so nervous because they turned down quite a few people to buy Nero. And I thought like, oh my God, if I fall off, I'm done. Like I'm gonna be cut from this. Like there's no way they're ever gonna let us have him. And I was so happy. The first few books he threw, when I realized I could sit them and it was okay. I was like, I'm golden. Like, and it just felt, Nero is the only horse I've ever tried. I've got 26, so I've tried a lot of horses. But Nero is the only one I've ever tried where it was like love at first sight, but riding, like, you know, like I felt right on Nero. Like it felt like not that we clicked as in like we were perfect immediately. No one is, but like it just felt meant
you had
to
that feeling.
be.
Yes.
Yeah, like maybe that was just, maybe I subconsciously already kind of knew how to ride him from watching him for so many years.
That's true.
Like I literally when I say religiously, I watched like 100 videos of him a day. It was insane. But yeah, like all my other horses, I sort of obviously liked them when I was trying them, as I would have bought them, but like it was more of a feeling of like, this has potential, this partnership, than like we are the partnership sort of thing. Yeah,
got it. So what height did you end up, like what was the highest that you ended up competing? Because you did loads together.
Yeah, we did a lot.
Very successful.
So we did in our pony years, with the winter JAs, they were like the big top JA classes in the winter, and then we did the summer JA was the pony show jumpers. They were the Hoys qualifiers. So it was like British Masters qualifiers in the winter and then Hoys qualifiers in the summer. Wow. So the British Masters ones started smaller, but they were 3 rounds, so they ended bigger. Yeah. So they started 130 first round, and then it was like 135, like, and then it was sort of like somewhere between 140, 145, 150 in the last round.
No, you won't be catching me doing that.
They can go up in like 5 or 10 centimeter increments. My God. So like it could be up to 150. Yeah. And yeah, we realised then doing those winter classes, that was when we realised that Nero had a problem with trebles then. Because the last treble he jumped before in one of the big classes with the girl that was riding him in 2014, he'd had pinch boots on. So which Nero did not need. No. So he was jumping, like, I'll find this video for you somewhere as well, because I have that on video too. He was jumping like insane. It's like something like an AI. If you posted it now, you'd be like, this is being
that's AI.
Yeah, literally, it was crazy. He was like coming down vertically over everything. Like, so he got to the treble combination, and there was no way he was going to get out of it. Yeah. So he got eliminated in the treble, but it really obviously knocked him. But no one had realised because he didn't have a treble since. Yeah. And then my first winter JA, the treble, it was usually near the end was the treble. It was either the last fence or a couple off the last. Yeah. And so I was clear and I was like, oh, nailing my first winter JA. Again, cocky Kate was coming back out. Yeah. She'd recovered from her broken
She's made a return.
She needed to be humbled. Yeah. So Nero promptly did that. He humbled me, got to the last fence, got eliminated, the combination. He'd like jump in at the first element and then didn't like exactly what he'd done when he had the pinch boots on. Like he couldn't get out over the next two. So we had a problem then. And every single winter JA we did, the combi. That was it. Like, and we were training at home. I was losing all hope. That's why if you watch my Arena UK one when we finally got round, you can hear people as we go to the combination. They're like, come on, and they're like clicking me through it and stuff. And they're like, yes, and she gets out the other side. So yeah, the first one we actually got through, we won. So we went all 3 rounds, and it was me and Charlie Dawson in the last round, and classic Kate, not like ADHD, not paying any attention. I didn't watch Charlie, so I thought the commentator hated me because Charlie had, like, so the third round, obviously you jump off. Charlie had a fence, and I didn't realise. So all I had to do was jump a clear round. But so when I went into the ring, the commentator went, let's see if Kate can finish on a good note and jump a treble clear. So I didn't realise she'd had a pole, so I thought, he hates me. He's just basically said, like, well, Charlie's going to win, so Kate's like, she's trash. So I was like
right. The real, like, trash talking kind of.
So that was like, I was going like the clappers in the last round, because I thought, right, shove this, like, to the commentator. And then you could hear, like, some of my friends in the background being like, what is she doing? Doesn't she realise that she just has to jump right clear? And so everyone in the audience is clicking me round as well, because they're like, oh my God, she's going to be gutted when she realises that she just needs to jump a clear round. So they're like, every fence you could just hear people like, egging me round. And Nero, in classic Nero style, there were 2 fences at the end, and in between he threw so many books, and like there's like popped out over my gosh, so funny. And they played Frozen, which was a little disappointing, but you know, it had been a bit overdone at that point. I was like, what's my song? But yeah, so that was the winter JA
Did
season.
you go clear? That was the one where you did go clear?
We did go clear.
So you might have gone fast.
Yeah.
You're just showing off, basically, at
exactly,
that point.
Yeah. So I still don't think I'd have been quick enough to beat her. Really? But in my head, I killed it, you know. Cocky Kate, course. she was back again, once again. There's several increments of Cocky Kate through my career, and I look back and no one knows when they are apart from me, so I watch the videos and they're like, oh wow, that round was really good, and I'm like, that was her.
That was my alter ego.
My alter ego, Cocky Kate. Oh gosh. But yeah, then we had the summer season, so that was the pony show jumpers. And so obviously coming out of the winter season, that was my last winter J8, so I was so cocky going into the summer season. I was like, first one, we're going to qualify hoys, we're sorted. First one was at Western Lawns, and it was huge. I stood on the hill at Western Lawns overlooking the arena. I was like, I can't do this. Like, it was massive and it was carnage. That is the most faults I've ever had in a class.
Oh, really?
I don't know what I did. I spoke about this in a video ages ago, but it was, I think I got like 37 faults.
Oh my gosh.
That's insane.
Is that even possible?
And all that was one stop and loads of time faults.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know. I must have hacked home and then come back.
Yeah, and then they're like, oh, it's still going.
Oh no, the clock's still going. Yeah. And then it just continued. I don't know what happened. But yeah, so that was, and I don't know how as well, but on Nero, I managed, there was a double at the end, and it was a treble bar, 1 stride, upright out. Quite nice double, really. Yeah. I managed to put 3 strides in there on Nero. And I still look back at that video and I'm like, how is that physically possible?
Yeah.
Like, we kind of like went out the side and then back in a bit. Yeah. But yeah, that was humbling. First one of the year. And then it just kept like getting a little, like, get almost there and then no. Almost there, no. And then we went down to Bicton, 10 hours for us, that took us. And I nearly qualified at Bicton because there were like no clears. I was 7th to go. And there was an open water. And Nero never ever put his foot in an open water, so I knew I was fine. But the first 6 people had all had a foot in the open water because it was a dodgy turn. It was like you jumped an ox and it was like a full 90-degree turn to the open water, so you didn't have that much space to get a lot of oomph. But Nero didn't need them, so I was fine. But the combination was his worst one, and that was right before it, so I was like, well, I don't even have to worry about the open water because I'm probably not going to get past the combination. But he did, it was ugly, like he scrambled through the combination, but I was like, oh, this is it. Like, you know when you just get that feeling and you're like, oh my god, destiny. And then so I jumped the open water, flew it by miles, cleared it. As soon as he landed, because he was the first one to clear the open water, everyone started clapping.
Oh, so Nero, was the end. He was
Nero
like,
was like, I'm done. So he started launch booking down to there was like this, like, it was basically an upright double and then an oxer. That was it, done. And he launch booked down, we're on grass at Bicton. He slipped through the double, and then they had to reset it, obviously, at that point. And he went round, jumped it clear, finished, like, clear, clear jumping. I was like,
If everyone just hadn't have clapped.
So frustrating.
Yeah.
10 hours for that. And
Oh my
Ziggy,
gosh.
that was the show Ziggy had a meltdown at as well. He was going through his sensitive Ziggy era. So
Aw.
if you riding around and then you you breathed a bit too hard, he'd just stand still wherever he was and have a little oh my god, I don't know what's happening with my life. I don't know. I'd just be there Ziggy, you're literally fine.
Yeah.
I just literally have to sit there until he gradually just went, oh, I'm okay now. And I'd be like, great, now we have about 50 time faults.
Yeah.
And and we haven't made it through the first fence yet. But yeah, that was an interesting show. And then the penultimate one of the year. So again, we got to the last qualifier, but the penultimate one I fell off. That was a Wales and West.
We've
again.
all been there. We've all fallen off at a show, and if you haven't, your time
was
will
a
come.
bad
Don't worry,
show,
you'll be part of the club at some stage. But
he'd lost a shoe in the warm up, and we had to have that put on. So then he was moved to the end of the class so that I could get my shoe put back on.
Yeah,
they had an on-site farrier, luckily, and then I went in. And Nero is a spoil sport, so Nero has a lot more going on in his head than people think.
Yeah,
so he knows how it works.
Yeah.
So he had an early fence. Nero in his head knew then it was done.
Yeah,
He won't qualify. So I'm there trying to have a nice round. But Nero, once he's had a fence, he's not the same to ride. He gives up.
Yeah.
He's like, whatever. And you're like, come on, Neem, we're
you
at
still
fence
need
5.
Yeah.
Can we keep going? And he's like, what's the point?
Yeah.
So I get to the last few fences and turn the corner. It's just this normal rustic oxer. Got a perfect shot to it. And you know when you get a perfect shot and you're fully relaxed, this is gonna be lovely. Nero just went, nah, and just decked me on.
Oh my gosh.
I was just laid on the top of a pile, looked like a rag doll.
Yeah.
And yeah, so that was my penultimate one. It was throwing it down with rain as well.
Yeah.
It was one of those in the films that moment where the main character's fully given up.
Yes.
She's ready to go home.
Yeah.
So I got to Scotland was where I ended up qualifying. Last qualifier, my friend Charlie had come across from Switzerland. We'd also met online.
Yeah.
And she'd come across. She was taking photos of us and stuff. First day, the whole summer, he hadn't had a problem with the combinations like he had in the winter.
Yeah.
The warm-up day, which is the day before the qualifier, lovely combination. He stopped, and I was like, right, well, we may as well just pack up and go home then. I had that was my mental breakdown.
Yeah.
I cried. It went sadness, anger, misery.
Yeah.
It was bad. Again, throwing it down with rain. It was already a bad start because we'd broken down on the way.
Oh my
so we didn't get there
gosh.
till 2 a.m. and there was no one there. So we had to just kind of find 2 empty stables, which were both at opposite ends of the showground.
Oh
so
my
it was
gosh.
because we had Ziggy as well, obviously. So it was, from the beginning, it was a terrible show.
Yeah.
And
See, I feel like
yeah.
my dad is sitting here now being like, I'm so glad that
He's
Esme
so
did not
pleased.
really do that much competing. Because I grew up in a family where I would go and do a show jumping around, and my family would say to me, "Can you knock a pole so we don't have to stay for the jump off?"
Oh my god, that was you.
Yeah.
That was
so
you.
the
I had friends
stark
like that.
contrast
Yeah.
between the two of us.
Whereas my dad was like, when I had a youngster at a show, it'd be their first show, and I'd go around and be like, "Why aren't you going against the clock?" And I'd be like, "Because she's 4." My dad was like, "I want to get some prize money." At a local Port Royal, you get if you get for rosette, you can trade it in for a cup of tea.
Oh my
so that was
gosh.
kind of what you wanted.
You
So
just wanted a cup of tea.
yeah, it was you're not going to place and get a rosette if you're not going against the clock. Right. But yeah, Scotland was where we in the end qualified. My dad wasn't there for my first round because he was taking my friend back to the train station. She was supposed to be going that day anyway, but I think she was pleased to leave because I've been such an absolute nightmare.
Yeah.
So I was it was like Britney Spears 2007 shaves her hair kind of that was my mindset. If I'd had a raise, I'd have shaved my hair. That would be transformation. And yes, I went clear in the first round. And then my dad got there for the jump off, and I was first of 4 to go in the jump off with only 3 qualifying spaces. So it was awful. And I had no idea where I was going. My jump off is so weird in that because my friend Anya literally just recited the fences to me just before I went in. So I had no idea what routes to take. All I knew was that I had to set the standard.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'll just do every turn, even though even the course designer after was like, that wasn't supposed to be a turn.
Oh.
I came in front of the open water, which I didn't realise.
You were cutting corners that weren't there.
Yeah, it was bad. But I'd cut all of the corners. So the next girl that went in, she had a pole. which was my dad. Embarrassing. I disowned immediately.
Yeah,
because this
did he
girl,
cheer when
he was like yes, and he was right next to her mum.
Oh my
And I
gosh,
looked
that
at
is
him and
foul.
I was like,
that's awful.
like, it was awful. So so she did that, and this one was just like.
To be fair, actually saying that, my mum and dad have done that before, but it was somebody on our team because they wanted to. They wanted to go home.
Yeah.
No, it was the opposite. They wanted us to do badly
against your team.
Yeah, our team. So we were in a team show jumping thing, and when my friend knocked a pole, my mum and dad both cheered because it meant they didn't have to take us to the next round. It meant they could go home. So that's what it's like.
Oh, you didn't qualify. Never mind. We'll get you a McDonald's on the way home. Get in the car.
So sorry, I'll let you continue your story. I keep butting in.
Yeah, the third girl came in. She was like steady, clear but steady away. So like she was nowhere near me. And then Flo Norris, who we were talking about earlier, because you and my friend Sophie are massive Lando Norris
we're
fans.
big F1 girlies, so we have bonded over that this weekend.
Yeah, I was like, I know Flo. That's my only claim to
love
to the fame.
So yeah, basically me and Sophie, who's been doing some filming with Kate, we've just become like best friends. We've got so much in common.
It started off, I came like, oh, me and Esme are friends, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm third wheeling.
Yeah, you're third wheeling us now, so it's been brilliant. Anyway, sorry. Yeah, continue the story.
Yeah, so she went in and she didn't do the same turns, but she was quick, and I was like, oh, I'm second here, like that's fine. I'm off the hoys, it's cool. And then I always remember the commentator, like she went through the finish time and he was like, it's quick, but it's not quick enough, and I was like, what? And like my dad was ringing my mum, they were like crying on the phone and stuff, because it was like my childhood dream to go to Hoys. I'd been going to Hoys as a spectator since I was like 10 or something, 10, 11. So yeah, to qualify at 16 and then like to go in that class was like the biggest of the pony classes, so it was like cool. But yeah, Hoys was scary. Like that was intimidating.
I can't even imagine.
It was the silence. Just the silence in the ring. And all I could hear was Nero making like I could hear myself, because when Nero, like you could feel when he's gonna book in the ring. So like I used to make monkey noises at him to make him stop booking. So all I could hear was myself just going like as he going around corners and stuff, like because he's like trying to book. But poor Nero, like he didn't know what to do because I was just hanging off him the entire round. Like Nero, if that had been a local show, he would not have jumped around it. But Nero really thrives in the atmosphere. So he went in and he was like, oh, why did I get stuck with this girl? God, like I could have won this. But yeah, like I was surprisingly happy with Hoys though. I had like 4 down, I think, because I was just literally hanging off his face the entire time. But it's just the nerves at that age. Like
I cannot imagine.
I guess a lot of those kids, what I didn't really think at the time was a lot of the kids I was up against had been going since they were like 10 years old.
It was like, just
like,
another Hoys to the
it was
collection.
Another show every year. Whereas to me that was like the one, and like you get a warm up on the morning at like 3 a.m, but not jumps, like just a trot around in the ring kind of thing, which Nero didn't really need anyway, because he wasn't going to be bothered by the atmosphere. So whereas like, oh my god, if I took like Harriet there now, I'd be spending like 6 hours. I'd have to go in at like the night before, and like they'd close the final class and I'd be like, right, I'm coming in, I'll be here all night, thanks guys.
Because so much of horse riding is mental. Like if you are not in the correct headspace, a horse can really pick up on that. Like that's if you're like a tiny bit nervous, they're like, oh, what's happening? It's the end of the world.
Because then you try and compensate as well, but then you can overcompensate. So then they're like, why is she riding me too like hard now? Like, you know, and so that was Nero's journey, and then I decided to register him as a horse. We took him up onto horses with us, because we debated. My dad he's a mug, really. Like my dad was like, we'll buy Nero, because Nero was by like a million light years the most expensive horse we've ever purchased. We bought Nero and everyone was like, oh, they are filthy rich, like, and they're like, all my other horses like a couple of grand, and then there's Nero. But yeah, like, so Nero I think was a house mortgage.
Oh my god.
To buy Nero, and then Dad was like, it's fine. Like Mum had pitched it to him. She was like, it's fine, because at the end of the year we'll sell him. And that because she'll be off ponies. And then we'll just put the money back, and it'll be like she's had all the memories, and financially nothing ever happened. So literally got to the end of the year and we were like, Nero, and my mum and me were like, do we like, because a thing that a lot of people still do now is like have own ponies and then other people ride them for them and stuff, so we toyed with that idea, and like throughout the year we'd had crazy offers for Nero. I remember as a 16-year-old girl I had a man come across to me at Arena UK with a checkbook. and just say, write what you want on it. We'll have him at the end of the year.
Oh
and I was
my
like,
gosh.
no, he's not for sale. Sorry.
Yeah.
Imagine how intimidating that is at 16
Yeah.
years old.
Oh my
dad would
gosh.
have probably been like, give me the checkbook.
Yeah.
He was there. But yeah, like it was. So we got to the end of the year, and my dad literally, we were just sat. It was like a 5-minute conversation. We were just sat there, and we were like, what do we do? And Dad was like, we could just keep him. And we were like, okay, done.
Yeah.
So, because he thrived on horses because his stride is so big.
Sorry, I don't know if you heard that.
Oh.
That is our donkey, Toby.
Is that Toby?
That's Toby. He can't.
I keep commenting on how
he
weird
has
his brain is.
The mics probably don't pick up on it because they're very good because they only pick up our voices. But yeah, he doesn't have it. His bray. He can't bray properly like a normal donkey. So he just
cute.
he sounds not quite right. So
it's
very
really sweet. So like, when did you come across Nero?
I want to say it was. I think when the year when you first had him and started posting him on YouTube and things, I think it was
2015.
Around 2015, because I'd watched like a bit of equestrian YouTube and things for like a few years before that, but I'd say definitely through you.
Yeah.
So
oh my gosh,
I just remember watching those videos and be like, I didn't know horses could jump that big.
Yeah.
Like I'd been
That
to
was
like
crazy.
Olympia
That's
or
like
the
me.
London International Horse Show back in the day, but I was like, I didn't know horses that small could jump that big.
That was my biggest disappointment on ponies. Was
Yeah,
that
not going to
for
London.
for the 1 year,
Yeah.
they removed it that year.
Really?
The following year it was back. So they
Oh
have a
my gosh.
148 class, and basically if you've just jumped at the big 148 shows, you get invited in.
Yeah.
To do that. So we would have been able to go
Oh
to
my
Olympia
gosh.
and compete at Olympia, which would have been amazing. But yeah, we didn't get to go, which was a shame. But yeah, then we continued the following. Our first year on horses was funny because we did a few fun classes as well. I like brought him down the levels a bit. He did a couple of 125s, and then it was like mainly 120 kind of height. That was like Nero's.
Yeah.
Nero's like in my sleep, eyes closed height was 120.
Yes.
Which is insane, isn't it? Like,
Yeah.
Like I look back at it now, 120 used to feel like nothing to me, and now I'm
Oh
like,
my gosh.
120 is a bit big. But
same.
yeah,
No.
like I'm gonna chuck you on one of mine at some point. You can jump in
Perfect.
120.
Yeah.
Chase me Charlie on like
To be
Harry
fair,
or
it
something.
is like a lot of it is down to the horse because I
Yeah,
was very lucky
absolutely.
to ride a Grand Prix horse, Dougie, who's owned by the Breens, and I did a grid on him, and they just put the last jump up and up and
Yeah.
up, and I was probably doing like 120, 130,
Yeah.
and it just felt easy. It
is
when
like effortless
I
when
was-
you've got
yeah.
the right horse. Yeah,
definitely.
Like I think a lot of people there's like online obviously there's a lot of like either jealousy, envy, like a lot of like hate online and stuff.
Yeah.
You get a lot of people that they'll make fun of people who have horses that are jumping at that level and stuff. They're like, oh, they're push button horses and stuff.
Yeah.
And I think often they can be push button, but it's the definition of push button. You still have to know what buttons to press.
That's true.
So you can't still put anyone on these horses
Yeah.
and they like jump them round things. You still have to have the skill and knowledge to be able to ride them. So like I look at that there's a lot of like you look at a lot of the pro horses and stuff. You could put me on any of those horses and I'd be able to ride them to an extent.
Yes.
Like, they're good enough that I could get, like if you got an Olympic horse and was like, take this round of 120,
Yeah.
I could probably do that.
Yeah.
But you can't just put anyone on like Nick Skelton's Big Star and be like, here's a 160
100%.
Olympic course.
Yeah.
And like, they talk about it as if like you could just plonk anyone on and they just off they
It
go.
would be like chucking someone into a Formula One car.
Yeah,
Like, there are
exactly.
Obviously, it can go very, very fast, but there are so many different buttons
Yeah.
you need to know how to drive
exactly,
it. So.
exactly. So I think you get a lot of that online, but you still have to know what to do. So
100%.
Yeah.
But like, let's circle back to Kate now. Like,
Oh,
what's
gosh.
going on your life? Because obviously you're a new mother.
I'm
You've
a
got a
new
lot going on as
mum.
well. Your family
Yeah.
have a whole cat rehoming rescue.
Insane. It's so busy.
Yeah.
Like, it's
Wait, how many
mad.
cats do you have?
So it's somewhere around 340.
Oh my gosh, so if anybody needs a
that's
cat,
insane.
Message Kate because she's
Yeah.
got a lot of cats.
Yeah, come on up to Yorkshire, we'll deliver them to you.
Yeah.
Like, I'm trying to convince Esme to have a cat as well. So like your garden lends itself perfectly to
my dad says no.
Semi-feral.
My mum says no
You'd never
because
see it go off into the woods.
true, but
Yeah.
my mum is like, she feeds all the local animals basically in the whole village and fattens them up. So we have a lot of
She fattens them
them
ready
up.
for the cats.
Literally, we have some obese squirrels.
Oh my
But no,
gosh.
my mum loves the birds, and she's worried that if we got a cat, that all the birds would go.
Yeah,
So.
we have some very uncoordinated cats that we could send your way.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, if they're not hunters.
I
then-
have a kitten that's completely blind. She doesn't stand a chance. She ain't catching anything.
Oh,
But
perfect.
She'll,
We'll take that
but she'll
one.
like waddle around your garden.
To be
and,
fair,
like,
my
look
house
cute.
does have a cat flap.
There you go. Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
My dad's shaking his head behind the camera.
It's like, no,
he's like, no more animals.
It's like, end of the podcast. Like,
Yeah. Okay. Let's. Yeah.
moving on. But yeah, we've got a lot of cats.
Yes.
We've always had rescue animals. Like it's always been a crazy place. But yeah, we started doing it officially. I think the year you came to see me.
I think it was.
Was when we actually started. And yeah, like just crazy. I do all of the difficult rescues where like someone has to crawl under a shed or on a roof or between walls or like you know, all of the like, you know, if someone had to like dive underwater and get a cat, that'd be me. You know, I don't know why a cat would be underwater, but you know, some of the phone calls we get, I wouldn't put it past someone like to be like, there's an airtight box underwater or something. Yeah, like, you know, to die like some kind of challenge.
Yes.
Yeah.
I feel like you would thrive on like those. Yeah. Put you in the Mr. Beast games. Perfect.
Perfect. Yeah.
You
Get
would
me
win
in the Mr. Beast games.
I feel like that's you like summed up. Like you're always up for a challenge.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Like we were walking down the lane and there was just like a hammock suspended between two trees and I was like, I really want to get in that. We were like, please don't.
We're like, Kate, do not trespass onto someone's land and jump in their hammock.
I really want to get in the hammock though. But yeah, I'm that type of person like walking down the road. If I saw like a tree that looked climbable, I'd be like, oh yeah, I'll climb that.
I would say I'm the same as well. So.
Yeah, there you go. We can climb trees together.
So yeah,
that's something we have in common.
Yeah,
there you go.
Both slightly feral wilderness children growing up. Horse girls. Woo!
Well, yesterday we were filming the documentary and you've got Cavalettis up in your arena and we're supposed to be having like a proper like in-depth chat documentary
about
and we were like,
should we go and jump
the Cavalettis?
Yeah,
like,
go and jump the little jump that I did. So basically, with Casper now he's older, I don't really jump him anymore, but I'll like put up the smallest little jump and he finds it the most exciting thing. Bless him. Like he's like, I'm back in my show jumping days.
They love a good jump. They
do.
Yeah. Aww.
So is there anything that you would like to chat about, promote? Because obviously you're filming the documentary, so we've been filming this week. We've been filming some fun things together.
Yeah. So like the documentary, we don't know when it's gonna be out. It's like it's a passion project.
Yes.
So it's not earning a penny. So we'll just have a GoFundMe along with the documentary.
Yeah.
Like, pay for its production, please. We need a sponsor. We need Temu. Sponsored by Temu. Temu, just to put into context, Temu reached out to do a brand deal, obviously not doing it, but we have the ongoing joke now that like Temu will sponsor it. Like,
I feel like we like just for the funnies we should like bleep out the name of the brand.
Oh yeah,
just to make it a little bit.
That would be great. Yeah, keep them guessing.
We can't give them the promotion. We can't for free.
That's ridiculous, isn't it? Yeah, of course.
We'll bleep out the brand name.
Yeah.
Anyway. Yes.
My dad's like,
another job for me to do.
Laborious task.
Yeah.
Gosh.
So yeah, you got the documentary.
Yeah, the documentary. So you are our first person that we visited.
Very honoured. Very honoured.
I'm so pleased as well because I do know you and have met you in person, so I'm not as nervous coming to see you.
Perfect.
But still weirdly, like we were like 5 minutes away and we were like, I'm kind of nervous. Like it's been ages since I've seen Esme. Yeah. Like, literally fine. The second we arrived, it's like,
cool. We're the definition of like those friends where you meet up and it's like no time's passed.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's the best friendships though.
Definitely,
like,
100%.
You could not talk for like a year and then be like, oh, hey,
what's going on
here? Like this feels like do you ever get those from like people that you went to school with where it's like they now do the the pyramid scheme things?
Oh my gosh.
They don't speak to you for like 10 years and then you get
like, hey, do you want to buy some
hey
stuff?
Girl. It's always like, hey girl. Why is it always hey girl at the beginning? It's like, hey girl, I've seen these products like you look so good with this like skin thing. And like, and then you could sell it as well and make some serious book. Like,
amazing.
Maybe that's the next chapter of my life.
No,
I'll message you
Kate,
next year and be like, hey girl.
Like, I'll be like, no.
Get into cosmetics and stuff. My God. I'm like, oh my word.
No, because I haven't really done many. Like I've done things like other professional riders and interviews and that kind of thing. But like when it comes to like other content creators, I don't really do much with other people.
I'm your only friend.
You are literally my only friend. I kind of. Yeah, sorry, Sophie. Say like girls. No, I think it's because I'm a little bit more of an introvert. I keep kind of like myself to myself. But also I feel like there are some people and they collab just for the clout or just like
absolutely.
If you couldn't tell. we are
Yeah.
like two peas in a pod. We
I
get
have
along very
nothing
well.
to offer you in terms of like online stuff. Like I was like, Esme's my friend. We're just gonna hang out and have fun.
Literally,
Like,
we had a little sleepover last night in the cottage. Yeah, went out to the local pub for dinner. We've been having a great time.
I've reached out to other equine influencers, and they're like, they don't respond. And then I reached out to you. I was like, Esme, can I come and see you? And you're like, yeah, sure. I was like, yes.
So
Esme's always there for me.
yeah.
It's the fangirl within.
Yeah.
It's, you know.
No, sorry. Yeah, I've
yeah.
been trying to restrain
She's
it.
like, oh my god, Blob the Cob's coming to my house.
But is there anything else that you would like to chat about, promote? Because I feel like in the documentary that we were filming, you were like, "Oh wow, let's film all of your saddle pads." I was like, "Thank you to Lemire," and then you're like, "Oh my gosh, look at all your helmets." It's like, "Thank you to Charles Owen." Both also available at Red Post. Go to Red Post. Sorry.
Yeah,
So the whole time I was
did turn in. I think we were just fascinated because we've never been here before.
Yeah.
But we've seen your setup online.
Yes.
But then like it's like trying to put the pieces of a map together. So you've seen
Yes.
like the arena, but you don't know where it is on the property.
Yeah.
So like you arrive and you're like, oh, this is the arena. Like that's not where I expected it to be. And
That was like
there's,
when I went to your house.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah.
you've got lots of pieces of a puzzle, and it's all just suddenly
it's
to
putting
come
it
together.
So we
Yeah.
were kind of just doing that on film. So
Yeah.
like we were just walking around and being like, oh my god, this is the stables. And
Yeah.
like, there's a field shelter I recognise over
Yeah.
there. Like it turned into a bit of like a promo thing, but we didn't see your feed room because that was the funniest part of the vlog.
The funniest
That was
part, because I was like,
hilarious.
I've had a busy week, guys. You know what it's like. The feed room has been a bit of a dumping ground. We filmed.
Esme's dad's like,
Yeah,
oh
Esme's
thank
dad's
God
like,
they didn't
no.
go in the feed room.
It's like, because just saying everything is like hygienic. Like all the food is in like this metal feed bin. So like, don't worry, it's not like manky disgusting.
I'm gonna call that the Blob the Cob room. Because
Yeah.
my entire yard looks like that room.
Okay,
Yeah.
and then basically we've.
No, it's far worse. Far worse.
It's been that like awkward weather where it's like one day you have to put New Zealand's or like rain rugs on horses. The next, the flies are out. So just all of the horses like muddy, boots, everything. We're just like chuck it in the feed room.
Yeah,
Shut the door.
yeah.
Nobody knows.
No,
So,
what you can't see can't hurt you
Yes.
most of the time.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
But
That's
we just
what
have a
the
clip
feed
of
room's
you
looking
literally
like.
just being like, yeah, so is this the
This
feed
is the
room?
feed
And you're
room.
like,
I
yeah,
opened
she
the
just
door,
opens the door.
and then I just
she's
close
like,
it
anyway.
moving on. Moving on.
Oh my
So-
gosh. But yeah, it did kind of turn into a bit of like
And then you're like, oh my
we're
gosh,
walking
your
around like,
books. And I was like,
horse books.
I was like, I felt like I was just doing like a full-on
I had a
self-promo.
private book signing
Yes.
with you.
Yeah.
Like, so I've got exclusive double signed books.
Double signed
books.
Yeah.
They're signed on 2 pages. So one day, I was saying like one day when I've got no money and I'm just sat on a street corner somewhere, I would just be with your books in front of me, just like, please somebody give me some money for these.
Yeah.
They're gonna be worth something. They're double signed. Famous author.
Amazing.
No, let's face it. If I was like, if I have no money and I'll just be moving in here. I'll just be like in one of you, like in one of you,
One of the field shelters.
Or something.
Yeah,
just like, you won't know I'm there, but I'll be there. Like
you're always there.
just like
Just watching.
just
You're
just
here in
watching,
spirit.
so
Yeah.
here from spirit. Oh my gosh.
Amazing. Well, yeah, last chance for any self promo.
Just the documentary.
Just the documentary. Go
keep your eyes
keep
peeled
your
for the
eyes peeled
documentary.
for it,
I'm
yeah.
sure we'll all be like sharing it when it comes out anyway.
Yeah.
Like everyone that's in it. Like we've got some. We could tease like we're going across to Ireland.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of people in Ireland.
There
we're filming
are.
with
Ireland
that
is
you know
a
as
big
well.
horse country, and there are a lot of
Yeah.
cool people out there.
There
so.
are. That's where most of the equine YouTubers originate.
Yeah,
from.
the
There's
OG
very
ones,
few-
all
yeah,
from Ireland.
Yeah.
Nowadays, everyone's in the UK. But actually,
Yeah.
when I first started YouTube, I used to watch a lot of Americans, actually.
Did you?
A lot of American, like, equine YouTubers and Canadian, but
So I
they
don't
just...
know that many equine
I
American
feel like
YouTubers.
that was kind of more I'd say that
Yeah.
was 2015 to 2020.
Yeah.
So it was like, the Irish
You're the
YouTubers
next
were
generation.
like... Yeah, the next generation, where people doing kind of like more vlogs
Yeah,
and things. But
yeah.
now, if there are literally like no... like barely any American content creators. So if you're American horsey, hit me up.
Yeah,
I wanna,
there you go.
Yeah.
I want to learn Western.
Yes. Oh my
I
gosh.
want to go across and
Western riding out there is
some horses
so much
and
fun.
stuff.
We're gonna go and have our.
throws yourself off.
We're
the
gonna go and
horse.
have our Yellowstone trip
Yeah,
together. Perfect.
Yellowstone
Perfect.
Yeah, this is the ADHD.
Yeah.
This
My
is
dad
the-
is gonna have so much fun editing this
Yeah, he's
podcast
gonna be
episode.
like, God.
No.
Just
I
put it
think
on raw.
I think some things might need to be taken out. There's like
Like
a
that.
level of unhinged that I think
this podcast wasn't ready for. My
wasn't, yeah.
podcast fine.
I mean, to be fair, the other week I did a whole podcast episode and it had 3 different stories about me having embarrassing stories in public toilets.
Oh, wow.
So, you know, the bar is low for the podcast. That's all I'm saying.
The bar was started here.
Yeah.
And it's just gradually worked its way down.
But you know what? They're the best episodes. There's no
They
such thing
are,
as TMI.
absolutely.
So
Exactly.
Anyway,
Exactly.
on that note, I think we're going to wrap it up because if not, me and Kate will literally be sitting here chatting forever. And
this
podcast episode is probably going to be like the longest one
It'll
ever.
be one of those videos that people put on YouTube, like, you know, when they need to fall asleep, it's like 10 hours long.
Yes.
It'll be that.
Yeah. But you might need to put a sleep timer on this one. Anyway, just want to say a huge thank you to Kate for coming on down.
Thank you for having me.
And being on the podcast.
Yeah.
It's been a blast. And also I want to say a huge thank you to Red Post for sponsoring the podcast as well. Go and check them out at redpostequestrian.co.uk. And we will, well, I'll see you next time. Kate won't be here next time, unfortunately. No. She just does have to go back to her son and all of her animals and her 300 cats. Yeah. So anyway, thank you so much for listening. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.